Do you have solo economic dependency? That is, if you aren't working, you aren't making money. The Art of Passive Income podcast is the solution. Discover passive income models so you can enjoy life on your own terms. Let freedom ring.
Hey, it's Mark Podolsky, the Land Geek, with your favorite niche real estate website, www.thelandgeek.com. And we're back. We're back, baby. Took a few weeks off on the roundtable, but here we are. The usual suspects, minus the technician. We got the big papa, Tate Litchfield. Tate, how are you?
So good, man. Just dying of heat out here, though.
Yeah, no, I know it. I know it. We've got the nightcap OG, dude buddy, Scott Bossman. Scott, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's hot up here too. Hot and humid.
Hot and humid. Yeah.
Not a dry heat. It's a lot worse up here.
Yeah. Speaking of hot and humid, Bearland Aaron makes me hot and humid. Bearland Aaron, how are you?
Pretty good. Just getting ready to storm Area 51. Just kidding. Maybe not.
Yeah. Good to see you. Good to see you. The most feared woman in the country, the terrorist hunter, Mimi Schmidt. Mimi, how are you?
Doing great. We're registering at 99 degrees today here in DC. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
It's hot for us.
That's insane. That's insane. And then breathing in the mailing, breathing out the marketing. The Zen master, Mike Zaino. Mike, how are you?
Good. It's hot up here, but I'll tell you what, it's better for the butter when you spread it on your corn muffin. It melts at night.
Better for the butter. I love that. That's my new saying. It's better for the butter.
Spreads nice on that corn muffin when it's room temperature.
I actually think we have a show title. Better for the butter. Roundtable podcast. And of course, last but not least, you know him, you love him. The Land Geek Sherpa. The Flight School Sherpa, I should say. He's a Land Geek Sherpa too. Scott Todd from scotttodd.net. Landmodo.com. Postingdomination.com /the Land Geek if you're going to start automating your Facebook and Craigslist postings. And of course, if you want to start learning anything under the sun, investorninjas.com. Scott Todd, how are you?
Mark, I do not know how to even compete against the butter spreading going with today's topic, because that whole exchange that Mike Zaino just shared made me very uncomfortable.
It's kind of a drop the mic moment. Like, oh, you almost stopped the roundtable after that.
I mean, we should have just ended there. That might have been the highlight of the show.
Yeah, exactly. But we do have some valuable information to share. And we had a really good topic come up. If you're going to start all over again, where would you start? How would you start? What would you do differently? And I think we should start with Bearland Aaron, because why not? Bearland Aaron, if you could do it all over again, where would you start?
I guess I would actually start in a similar fashion. I mean, we took pretty good action on the mailings right off the bat, and deal flow is kind of king. So I felt that was good. But honestly, I think if I had to do it again, I would probably go a little bit longer or a little further into the business before I started coaching. We didn't have flight school when I started. I think what I would do is probably start with flight school, because I honestly got a little overwhelmed with just the volume of information, and it wasn't necessarily too fast. It was just my ability to assimilate it with, what I had going on in life and everything else. I probably would have maybe liked to have a little more under my belt before I took off into kind of maybe the advanced end of it a little bit, So I think if I had to do it over again, I would probably start with flight school and then go into one-on-one coaching. That's kind of the difference that I would make, because I think it would make it a lot easier there'd be a whole lot of action on the basics before, we tried to go to the next level. So that's probably my biggest change that I'd make.
Yeah. And we actually agree with you. So people that go into one-on-one coaching, they have to start in flight school and then they go into one-on-one coaching, because I think you're right, actually. So in the spirit of Kaizen, we're constantly improving the training programs. And that was one of the things that we were seeing was, in the beginning, people were just drinking from a fire hose, and this way it's slower. You get your fundamentals down, and then you accelerate in one-on-one. But I think that's a really good thing to bring up. Mimi Schmidt, how about you? How would you start differently? Oh, you're on mute, Mimi.
I would have not been so apprehensive, and I just would have listened to my coaches. I would have mailed and marketed, and I wouldn't have stopped mailing when I thought oh gosh, I'm getting nervous. I'm going to stop mailing because I have all this inventory I haven't sold yet. I should have just listened to what my coaches said and just done more of it a lot sooner. More mailing and more marketing, just blown it up, right? Because it's like Eric Peterson says, it takes a lot more ads than most people realize. So that's what I would have done, just a lot more sooner and not been so apprehensive. Because I still feel apprehensive when I go into a new market. I kind of tiptoe in, put a couple ads in there, right? And kind of wait to see. So, yeah. All that worry for nothing. My coaches knew.
No, I think it's natural, just this natural fear of the unknown. And I could see that. I think we see that a lot. And it is sort of that typical, fight or flight response people have after the first, say, 60 days, and they get their offers out, and then they're waiting, and then they're scared to keep the machine going because they're just not fully, they know intellectually it works because there's just so much overwhelming proof, but they don't know that it works for them.
That's it.
And that's where it gets scary. That's
right.
where you need, the Tate Litchfield loving kick in the tush to be like, okay, keep doing it.
Right. I knew you guys could do it. I didn't know if I could do it. So
right.
I needed to,
I think that's a really good point to bring up because I mean, it's very, very common. Zen Master, Mike Zaino, what would you, if you could do it all over again, what would you do differently when you're just starting?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's kind of tough for all of us because it wasn't we already talked about the flight school. It wasn't in place, right? So, I mean, I think we're all going to default back to that fundamental, but I remember having many conversations with you, and I probably would have removed my scarcity mentality sooner than later. And, I'd ask you, Mark, I'm thinking about doing this or that. And you're like, well, do them both. I'm like, but I can't. Yes, you can. It's like I would limit myself with my beliefs of what the success would be and think that it was this or that. And, just a little bit too timid. I think that once you understand this model and the power that it has, you just take that massive action. I would have surrounded myself with all of you sooner. I would have been, it's the group that really helps, right? Just that support. There's nobody else I can talk to about this business. Literally, like, who do I talk to? There's nobody. So like normal people, like first to spend an hour explaining the concept to them, and then they still probably don't get it. And then you can start, and it's like, it comes off like you're bragging, or it doesn't work. You need a support group of people that will be there and help you because there's ups and downs. And then finally, I would have got my system sooner. I always talk about, because, I remember starting, I remember Todd was there and quiet in the background, but little I know he was plotting all these systems and all these methods and creating things like LG Pass and all these other things in place. And he just launched like a skyrocket, and it was like, what? Where'd he go? Like, it was because he did the systems, and it took me a while to embrace that. I did too much of my own, and when you do too much of it yourself, you can't scale. And if you can't scale, you can't grow. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. And Scott has become such an expert in systems and automation that it looks just like him on the round table right now on video. That's his hologram. He's actually on his boat, you know, going around.
No, he's windsurfing.
Pianos. I'm getting all these videos on Voxer, you know, Scott's here, Scott's there. And I mean, you could see like the color in his face, but this is an incredible hologram of him. And he's efficiently using his time doing that. Although Tate, is he on the plane or the boat? I can't.
Hard to tell. You know, obviously I'm not seeing any wind moving through the hair, so it's hard to tell. I'm assuming.
Whoa.
Wow.
Or actually, I think he's on the plane because he's, you know, safe and sound, and it's nice and quiet in there.
I'm not sure if this is love or hate. I'm not sure which one this is.
It just started out as love, and then it turned a little bit into jealousy, Scott, because, I mean, you're just, like, so cool.
Well, thank you, Tate. So are you.
Moving on. Buddy. The Nightcap Meister, Scott Bossman, what would you have done differently in the very beginning? Oh, you're on mute, Scott.
Sorry. Oh, geez, now my video's gone. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so many things. So, you know, I talk to a lot of people who are just on the verge of their journey, and I explained it to them, you know, for beginners, you have two pathways. You have pathway A, which is the toolkit. It's a ton of information. You have pathway B, it's flight school, it's execution in real time right away. I was a toolkit guy. I can't tell you how much blood, sweat, and tears I expired on the toolkit. It was difficult. It was hard. So to be able to leverage my time and energy and knowledge with the programs that we have today, I mean, in a heartbeat, and we keep going back to this, in a heartbeat, if I had to do it all over again, I would take that flight school path over the toolkit, because why reinvent the wheel? And things are already up and running. You're learning a recipe, you're using systems. So that'd be the first thing, is I would definitely take that pathway, knowing what I know now, without a doubt. Mike touched on this a little bit, but I would say that in the first 2 years of my land investing journey, I was very effective, but I was not efficient. So I was doing too much of the work myself, and I'm a little bit of probably a control freak like Scott Todd, and don't want to pass things off too much. So that Scott was supposed to laugh at that, but anyway. So I you know, I had a hard time delegating all the things I wanted to, and just realized that eventually I needed to just, you know, expand my horizons a little bit and do that. And then I guess a technical thing I would have done is I probably, if I could go back now, I would have sold some notes on some of my passive income, on some of my terms deals. I think that's a strategy that a lot of people don't take advantage of enough when they're first starting out. Yeah, so that would be definitely something I would probably employ. Scott talked to me about it, but I don't know. I just didn't take the leap there. So I probably would do that if I had to do it all over again.
All right, fantastic. Big Papa, what would you have done differently?
You know, I think mine's pretty simple, and that's get advice and help. I mean, like so many, I tried to just solve this giant riddle on my own, and it wasn't until I started having really deep, intimate conversations with, you know, Mark, and that things really started to happen. And that's, I think, you know, I'm very happy with where I'm at and what I've done and what we've built, but man, I lost a year, right? Where could I be if I had just asked for help sooner? I think that's my biggest regret, I guess. And I don't know. That's why I really like working as a coach and helping people, because I get messages from people who are asking for help, and it might seem like a simple equation or a simple answer or a question, but they get the help, and that might be the breakthrough that they need to progress their business that much further. So asking for help, I guess I was trying to do it on my own, and I was too afraid of telling other people what I was doing because I knew what the margins were and the numbers and everything was so amazing that I was afraid of other people coming in and doing it better than me and pushing me out of it, I guess. So scarcity mentality, I guess, too.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I know for the first maybe 10 years that I was in business, everybody thought I was a drug dealer in my neighborhood. Like, like I didn't tell anybody what I did. It's kind of embarrassing now.
I still don't, but
yeah.
I kind of like that. Like my neighbors, they have no idea, and I kind of like it that way. Just rides his bike a bunch and hangs out at home and goes to lunch. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. You just like to haze them. It's like, well, I think Tate's the only one that's going to get this reference, the J. Cole song, Neighbors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go check it out. It's funny. It's really good.
It's really good. It is a good song.
It is a good song. It's a great song.
Yeah. The Hologram, Scott Todd.
Okay, I am live. I'm not anywhere else. I'm not a hologram. I am who I say I am. So there you go. I cleared that here on that one. Now,
that's exactly what a hologram would say.
Yeah, right. Okay. Look, my Google. What can I say? Look, I think, Mark, what I would do differently is there is a tendency, and I don't really know where it comes from, and we all have it. I see it over and over and over again, and that is like we choose a county, and we feel like we need more counties. Like, oh, I need 5 counties. I need 10 counties. I need to be like, and I think where I fell in this trap is that what was happening was I was going and looking at these other land sellers, and you see these other land sellers. Well, they're in this county, they're in that county, they're in all these other counties. And it's so hard to remember that they have been doing this for some time longer than me. And when you're starting, you want to be big like them. But the reality is that they probably only started in one county at one time. That's the reality, all right? Like they stayed in the county, they grinded it out. I know Mimi did that. She was in the county, this one county for forever. She had laser focus. And I definitely looked at Mimi as she was doing this and thinking like, man, I wish I would have done that, because what happens is you begin to spread yourself too thin. You're trying to crack the code on all these counties. And it's not just that. It's every county has a different buyer's list. So you got to market in those counties, and you got to build your name and your reputation in that particular market. And it's like creating 3, 4, 5 companies all at one time. And I think that's a big struggle that people have is, yeah, you want to be big. You want to have all this land. But I'll tell you what, I know a guy that he's been doing this for like 35 years. He's in one county. Like he just stays in the county and he keeps chiseling away at this one county for 35 years. And if you want to talk about like, resilience and stick-to-itiveness, this guy has seen the county in good days and bad days. He has grinded it out. And I think if I were to go back, what I would do is I would find that one county. And, it might have taken me a while, but actually I say that, but I'm thinking back, like the county I do most of my deals in, it probably is one of the first counties that I started in. So you'll kind of gravitate to these things. And I just kept plowing away on that piece. And I would just put more resources, all chips on the table. And I would have gone in all there as opposed to spread myself out amongst all these counties, because I want to be like the guy that's working in 10 different counties or whatever it is, because I think he's cool and big.
I think that's an interesting, commentary on the business, because it comprises so many different things as far as mindset and focus and all these elements. Is just that first county. How many counties do I start in? And I'd be curious, Bearland Aaron, when you first started, was that something that you struggled with? Was focusing on one county, 2 counties, 10 counties?
I think we started with 2 counties. Well, no, I started with 1, the first one. I'm still in that county. I love that county. We expanded into another one because my wife, Melissa, and I were doing it together. So she chose a county. We went into that. And since then, though I have bought and sold in some other counties. I've only got really one other that I'm consistently mailing to. I might still always be testing some new areas. I've got a new one that I'm going to be testing out based on response I've been getting from the market. Do you have anything near here? And once you hear that enough times, you start to look and see if, is this a possible area? Are other people buying and selling here and that sort of thing? But yeah, getting spread too thin is, a much bigger detriment than what you think you would accomplish by acting too big. Just be an expert in an area and be that expert. And I think it's going to pay dividends for you.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Scott Bossman, how about you? Was that an initial struggle?
It was an initial struggle, and I wish I had been a little bit more resolute in staying where I had had success, because I had actually done a few deals in a county and then got the itch to move somewhere else. I think for whatever reason. So I definitely, if I had to do it all over again, I think I would stick to that first county because I was having success in it. I don't know why I branched out too soon. I think I may have had some issues, maybe selling a lot or two in that county. And I just didn't know at the time what I didn't know, that they would all sell. And I got impatient. So, looking for other opportunities, I guess, was what I was doing. And I ended up wasting some time on that, and I wasted some mailers on it because I went to a different county and I didn't do enough county research. It happened to be a neighboring county, but tell you what, even though it's neighboring, it was completely different. And I tanked on my mailings for probably a month. So yeah, I would definitely stick to one county and then become sure-footed there and then branch out.
Yeah. How about you, Mimi?
I get this question a lot in flight school office hours because people, they want to go, right? They want to ramp up their businesses. And I know a guy that was in boot camp, started boot camp one before me, who's in one county and has $20,000 in passive income a month in one county. Okay. So, if people want to do more with your business, mail and market more in your county, right? Become the SME, become the go-to guy. I'm still in my county. I just sold a piece of land there in the last month. So I don't do much there anymore because the margins have gone up or gone down so much. But 3 years. So yeah, don't feel like you got to move around. There's so much to do in this business. Getting into a bunch of counties, isn't it?
Nice. Zen Master?
Well, this reminds me of high school, Mark, because my mother told me every time I get my heart broken, she's like, Mike, high school girls are fickle. And that word is like fickle. Don't be the fickle land investor, and that happens to, I think, a lot of people in the beginning. I was bouncing here, there, and everywhere. You're right. And settling in is really important. So, hey, this goes in line with Scott Todd was talking about land investing. He relates it to relationships, right? So in the beginning, you're a little fickle. You're finding that one that you love. And then when you find it, you better stick with it because that's where your buyer's list is. That's where your deal. And look, we've heard examples of people making here lots of money. So don't be the fickle land investor.
Yeah, I was such a geek in high school. I wish I could have that conversation with my mom. Like I didn't even have that opportunity.
But look at you now.
I don't believe you.
Oh no. Scary. Those were scary. So I was so awkward in high school. Tate, how about you?
Yeah, same thing as everybody else. I'm still actually in I wouldn't say it was the first county that I mailed to, but it was the first county that I started to connect with. I still do a majority of my business there. And it's always funny when I hear people say like, yeah, I started having success and then I looked for a new challenge. And it's like, wait, what? You started selling land, making money, and then you decided to restart that and go. So maybe that's just not how I think. I'm boring. I want to do the same deal over and over and over again, a million times over. And as long as I'm making money, I'm not going to, there's a phrase in fishing. It's like, never leave fish to go find fish, right? Never leave money in a proven area to go find more money. So stay put. If you're having success, do not reinvent it. Just keep doing it. Buckle it down. Like Scott, I have plenty of friends in the business who have been in the same counties their entire career. And I've asked them if they're bored, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of boring. Guess what? Land investing is not exciting. It's not supposed to be. That's why we're able to outsource it. That's why we're able to grow it and build it and work only 2 hours a week, because it's predictable. And exciting, new changes aren't predictable. Therefore, you can't outsource those. So my advice is stay put if you're having success.
Yeah, I mean, if you're bored making money, take up jujitsu or
Yeah, absolutely.
Email Zaino, like get a hobby, learn chess. I don't know, but don't just switch counties because you're tired of making money in that county and you're bored with it. It's a really good point. I'll tell you, when I first started, one of my biggest regrets was just flipping for cash. Boy, do I wish you guys were there just to grab me by the back of the neck and be like, what are you doing? Shaquille O'Neal has a great quote. He's like, basketball players are rich. He's like, but the owner is wealthy. And I really didn't get that concept until I started doing terms, because you get the income, but you still own the underlying asset, and you just keep building your wealth that way and your passive income. And when you look at it from that perspective, cash is great. There's nothing wrong with it, but now you got a new problem. Now you got to deploy more cash, and you just never get out from under it. And Scott, Todd, why are you smiling?
No, it just reminds me, Mark, like I was talking to someone the other day. Now, remember, I was talking to a group of entrepreneurs, and the way that they think is they think like, okay, I make sales. And they think like, oh, what's the lifetime value of a customer? And they think of all this stuff. And I'm trying to explain to them our business, right? Like I'm trying to explain to them. And if you could have seen the table, if you could have seen this table of people, of these entrepreneurs that are just trying to conceive what I'm saying to them. Like, yeah, some of my customers, they'll pay for like 4 or 5 months and they'll run off. I'll never hear from them again. They ghost me, and it's okay because then I turn around, I get another $1,000, and it's the nuttiest business you've ever seen in your entire life. And so I even have to laugh sometimes, because even the people that we're talking to that are in the business, that they might be new. Here's the thing that they forget sometimes is that people get so nervous about like overpaying on a property. Well, just because, let's just say, like someone the other day was telling me that they were concerned about overpaying by like $200. Like, oh my gosh, if I overpay by $200, what's that going to mean? Well, it really doesn't mean anything, because when you look at it from the whole scheme of things, like I had a property in Arizona that is out by the Grand Canyon. I bet you I sold that thing 3 or 4 times. I bet you I collected I think I paid $700 for it. We just sold it 2 weeks ago for $2,000 cash. And I was deeply saddened, because I probably, over the years I've been doing this, is one of the first properties I bought. I probably have collected about, I'm going to say about $4,000 on the property, somewhere in that range. Let's say $4,000 on a $700 investment. And I was literally disappointed it sold for cash. I was like, no, because you're buying, whether you realize it or not, once you start selling these things on terms and people start leaving, they start cycling through, it's like you're renting dirt. It's the greatest strategy ever. Like the dirt never goes away.
No, it is the ultimate subscription model. I think the only thing that might be better is life insurance. But the problem is that's a 10-year gig, because life insurance, it's just an idea, right? But if you're at a party and you tell somebody you're a land investor versus a life insurance salesman, it's a very different conversation. You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, you tell me when you're a land investor, like, it doesn't compute. Like,
yeah, that's true.
What does that mean? Well, forget it. I can't explain it to you. Like, like literally they were these entrepreneurs were telling me like that, like they were trying to give me advice, and I'm like on how to retain the customers. And I'm like, I don't really want to retain them. Like I'm saddened when I have to like give them the deed. It's a sad event. It's completely different than any other type of real estate that you're selling. You're normally happy to sell. I sold a property, but when you sign that deed away, it's like, no, I got rid of one of my soldiers.
Yeah, no, that was like the biggest mistake. I think the other one was just having this scarcity mindset of everything in my life, mostly not valuing my time correctly and thinking I was Superman and I should be doing everything, and couldn't grow the business that way. I couldn't scale because I was doing everything. And once I let go, things really were able to take off. But that took, gosh, did I waste a lot of time trying to figure this stuff out. It's very sad looking back. You know what? I don't even want to think about it. Honestly.
Now you're getting sad.
Getting kind of sad. Mimi, what wine should I be drinking when I'm sad like this? What's a good sad wine?
In the summer, is that hot? Sancerre. I like the French Sancerre. Yeah.
Is that red?
No, it's white. I'm a red person, but in the summer, man, 110 degrees. Do you want a red?
I can't do the white. I don't know why. It's just not me. I need a red from.
So for nightcap, I think I'll be going Sancerre, and then just, just a pensive gaze of regret.
Keep it simple. Just whiskey.
Yeah, that's true too. Speaking of nightcap, what's going on with nightcap, fellas? When's the next one?
I think it's Thursday night, right, Mike? No, Wednesday night. No, what day do you work?
Well, this is next week, Scott. This is
right next week.
Next week.
Okay.
What day do you release these on, Mark?
Thursday.
Tuesday.
They get released.
Oh,
this will be released
Tuesdays. Yeah.
Oh, it'll be released Tuesday. So it'll be Thursday night. Be there.
Thursday night. Okay.
Sancerre, awesome. Whiskey, and whatever else you like.
Yeah. I want to congratulate everyone that took advantage of the Let Freedom Ring bundle, and they're being able to look over Tate's shoulder right now and see how he works his business. If you were not able to do that, just go to thelandgeek.com/lots. Not only are you going to be able to take your land investing to the next level, but you'll be able to take your cycling to the next level as well. And fishing, most likely. Is that right, Tate?
Sure, why not? Maybe season 2 we'll go fishing.
Should we have Tate facing the other way for these podcasts now?
I see what you did there, Mike. I see what you did.
Come on.
If you don't get the joke, go to landgeek.com.
Yeah, if you don't get the joke, then you're going to go look up lots.
Yeah. And
that was promotion.
That was good. It was clever.
Right? And if you are struggling doing this yourself, don't. Go up that mountain. Either do it live in 3 days or go over and do it through 16 weeks virtually. Either way, get it done. Get your mailings done. Get your marketings done. Have no ambiguity. If you're doing it right, you're doing it wrong. Do it with a group. Do it with arguably one of the best land investors in the world. Have him be your Sherpa. Scott Todd. Tate Litchfield if you're going live. Any of the Land Geek coaches. So if you want to really take your business and your life really to the next level as we go into the second half of 2019, learn more, go to landgeek.com/training, schedule a call with the Zen Master or the Nightcap Meister, Scott Bossman. And I think you can even refer to them by their nicknames and they will be just fine. So when you get on the call with them, be like, Nightcap? Zen? What's up, guys?
His is cooler. OG is much cooler.
Got a few questions for you. Right? So definitely do that. Also, if you're enjoying the podcast, you're getting a lot of value, please, the biggest favor you can do is just subscribe, rate, review the podcast, send us a screenshot of that review to support at thelandgeek.com. We're going to send you for free the $97 passive income launch kit. Bearland Aaron, is this enough plugging for the podcast?
I suppose. I mean, it's all good, right?
Yeah. But I think that the big payoff for listening to all this is you get to listen to Mimi's tip of the week. Mimi Schmidt, what do you got? A website, a book, something actionable.
I was going to do something different, but since we're talking about the beginning and things that we would do different, don't go create your own spreadsheets. I notice a lot of people don't know about this tip, and I think we've talked about it here on the podcast before. Out in Airtable, Eric Peterson made a posting domination template that's free. Airtable is free. Go build your inventory lists and all of your account listings out there. Instead, I see people build these spreadsheets and then they're so proud of them and they don't want to let go of them. And it's so hard to bring on a VA and share a spreadsheet. Just go get Eric Peterson's posting domination template and make it easy on yourself. Make it easy to hire people and share your information with them. That's my tip.
Airtable, Eric Peterson, get her done. Well, I thought this was a really great discussion for newbies and experienced investors alike. Lots of gold nuggets out there. Again, if you're getting value, send this to a friend on the interwebs and share the love, share the knowledge, share the passive income bounty, right? There's plenty for everybody. Anyways, are we ready to do this? 1, 2, 3. Let freedom ring. I love the Bearland Aaron smirk. He's just like, yeah.
Yep. No. Yep. I just smile while you guys do it because that's all I can do.
Have you guys protected yourselves? Have you? Because all of you are at risk. You know that, right? Like all of you. Maybe not.
No, I've got a Post-it note that I put over the camera. Is that what you're talking about? Because of Zoom?
There's a link here, but you might want to go and like start updating your Apple Mac product now because of the Zoom security thing that affects the Macs. I don't know. You better protect yourself like now. Zaino and I were okay. Maybe
right. It's not going to happen on the Surface.
Yeah, it's not going to happen on the Surface. So you guys,
it's not going to happen on the Surface because most of the Surfaces are already broken anyways.
Right now, you're like, what do we do here? Oh my gosh, you're freaking out. You're sweating. Bearland, I see the sweat running down to his eyes. He's going to come out. He's going to be here soon. And Mike and I are just chillaxing because the Surface is the Surface.
I bet there's probably at least one other Surface owner on this call besides Scott and I just won't own up to it. I'm looking at it. I'm guessing there's one there somewhere.
My son owns one.
I think Bossman might have made the switch.
No switch on my part. Zaino's wasted too much of my time with his.
Tate wants to be in. He wants to be in the Surface Club. He told me, but he's a little
got one. Look at him. He's got one.
No, he doesn't have it yet. He's on the fence. He's on. Listen, if we get Tate to switch, well, I see the tidal wave of coming, man.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
We should do something like Surface versus Mac, or
you can have one of these at boot camp if you have a Surface. You have a nice service attaché.
Yeah.
Was that a man purse?
Yeah,
that's right. And I'm proud of it, Aaron. That's all I wear when I go. This is my only carry-on the airport. Look at this.
That's good. Saving that overhead space for me.
Pretty sure you bought that for your 13-inch iPad last summer.
No, this came from the Microsoft store. Let's not have any misspoken word.
Oh, okay.
All right, well.
Go update your Macs.
Yeah, I'm going to right now.
See, you guys normally, I mean, like, look, you guys are speechless over this thing. You're sweating it. I can see it. Tate's like frantically searching the web. Like,
I already saw this. I already saw this. It's like, wow, that is troubling, actually.
Yeah. See,
but they found it and they're updating it versus, all the Microsoft Windows backdoors with all that legacy software going back from the 80s.
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. It's all good.
I noticed an update last night after the flight school call. I noticed an update.
All
right. All right.
The Surface, I'll give it. The Surface is nice, and Microsoft is doing great.
They are doing great.
Yeah, they really are.
I will admit that I did over the weekend. I did last week. I did purchase a new iPad, which you might be wondering, like, why did I do that? But I got it because the software that I use when flying is only available on the Mac or the iPad. Sorry, the iPad. So if I'm going to fly, I'm going to fly safe. I need to have that. So I got myself a new iPad. It's nice, man. Like the new one's nice. They make good products, Apple does, but I still think that the iPad, the Surface is the way to go.
What does David Schmidt use when he flies?
United Airlines issued iPad.
See, there you go, man.
All right, iPads.
Yeah, there you go.
So I don't know what that says, but I think if the most responsible human beings on the planet are using iPads.
I've had them both.
Look, it's good, man. It's good, but the Surface has the edge for the business.
It does.
If you're only going to be a pilot, well, then you need an iPad.
It's super convenient. It's smaller than the iPad. It really is. I love it. The only thing I like about the iPad is that I have service. You know, I have internet service. That's the only thing. Or I'd have the Surface for everything.
There you go.
All right.
Well, thanks everybody. Thank you, listeners, and we'll see everybody next week.
Thanks for listening to the Art of Passive Income podcast. Start your journey at www.thelandgeek.com and www.scotttodd.net. Rate and review the podcast and email support@thelandgeek.com. Your screenshot for a free passive income launch kit.